We don't have audio, so.
Okay, we'll call over the town hall meeting, October 28th, 6 p.m. Roll call. Colby Nelson.
Michelle Otto.
Kirby Moynihan.
Sam Solars.
David Paradise.
Jessica Bonniwell.
Jackie Hines.
Dan Reardon.
Brian Ayers.
Water treatment update and discussion. Overview of manganese levels in water testing and update on financial impact and progress towards water treatment.
We weren't sure where you were wanting to start with this evening, since we didn't have a whole lot of direction here. So I don't know if you want staff to start with information. There's information available on the table for how to find manganese on our website, and sort of what's happening with the water treatment facility.
Are we able to pull this up on there or no?
Pull what up?
This one.
Well, we have a PowerPoint that goes over all of this information.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know if we wanted to go over that. I figured if we just went over this piece of it.
Okay. I can read through it. Everybody had a handout because they were available on the table. What is the plan? Start date to be determined. Total estimated cost of a full water treatment facility is $30 million as quoted by our engineering firm. The new facility would help clean our water and make it safe for use for years to come. How will we pay for it? A low interest loan, borrow money with a good interest rate, paying off the loan, around $2 million every year until 2045. Grant money will not be available since manganese is not regulated. Will my family's water bill go up? Yes, it will. It would be a big increase at first, about 200% higher than your current water bill, and then smaller increases each year, around 7% every year after that. There would be new jobs needed for this new facility. We would need at least 2 full-time employees. They would help run the new water system, and their pay would be around $60,000 a year each. What about the city's debt? We do have some existing debt associated with water already, and this new one would add around $2 million per year to the existing principal and interest payments. We expect to pay an annual bond payments just for water if we move forward with the water treatment facility at this time. It would start in 2026 at $2.692 million, 2027, $2.643 million, 2028, $2.6 million, 2029, $2.552 million, 2030, $2.481 million, 2031, $2.432 million, 2032, $2.390 million, and 2033, $2.342 million. And then there was another handout that was the spreadsheet, and that's just basically going over the debt and how much that would cost each year, accumulated with what we already have for debt. For water only. And this is just water. So there's other debt that we have for streets and wastewater, all that, so.
Is there anything from the council on this? Otherwise we can open it up.
I think we should open it up.
Well, I think we have something over here and, that we put together that I think would be good and beneficial.
Yeah.
So, I think that we called the meeting, or Michelle did, and
Right.
nothing was prepared, so Sam and I took it upon ourselves to do so.
Do you guys want the computer?
I got it here. It's again, just kind of a brief overview of what Jess had just gone through. I'll skip through a couple slides here. Go back. So this here is kind of a guidance and value history put out by the Minnesota Department of Health. Basically, back in 1993, they set the level at 100 micrograms per liter. A couple changes since then. In 97, the guidance changed to 1,000 micrograms per liter. That was based on the EPA research. And let's see, back in 2008, the Minnesota Department of Health adopted those base values of 300 micrograms per liter, matching the U.S. EPA Lifetime Health Advisory. And in 2011, Department of Health reverted back to the 1993 limit of 100 micrograms for infants until further review. And then in 2012, the risk assessment advice with age-based guidelines instead of standard duration-based guidelines. That is your current 100 micrograms for infants and 300 micrograms per liter for older children and adults. So, I'm sorry?
Excuse me, can you make it bigger on the screen? Like, you know how you expand the whole picture?
I guess that's fine.
Thank you.
Just click the button.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, so there's 2012. So those are the current guidelines. So that's what the Department of Health sent out back in 2012. So 12 years ago, that was what they sent out to everyone. If you want to keep going.
Will that be on the website too?
This will be posted
This will be
by the
posted on the
manganese
website.
information where there's an instruction manual how to get to that, so.
So we haven't been tested since 2012?
Oh.
No, we're getting there.
Yeah, we have it.
Let's see, 2017, they decided to keep the same values, which brings us pretty much up to 2023. Not much has changed since 2017.
So what are the values as of today?
Next slide.
Next slide, please. So back in 2003, we tested them. They were 795 micrograms per liter. 2011 was 926. 2013, 995. 2016, 1070. 2020, 990. And 2024 is 983. That's tested at the well.
So is the 1070, is that when we got the letter that it was unsafe to drink?
We would have got we got that letter back in 2020.
We never said unsafe to drink.
What was that letter we got from, we all got a letter saying something about,
It was just informing you that the manganese levels were elevated.
okay.
What does it have to be unsafe?
So, Department of Health recommends 100 micrograms per liter for infants, 300 micrograms per liter for adults. That's their guideline.
But when the Department of Health was here in 2021, they actually said that 300 number is based off of a regular human diet and not, it's not based on toxicity. That's only based on what your diet is.
What about babies and little children?
So they also covered that in their presentation that they did, and it is on our website and on the city's YouTube spot as well, that it is that 100 for infants, but for a 9-pound baby, they would have to drink 39 ounces every single day from the exact same source. So the exact same faucet, the exact same tap, everything. Every single day, 39 ounces. And that is directly what they said in 2021. Sorry to interject.
So along with that, okay, so I know that high levels of manganese in water, no matter how much, like even if it's high, can cause issues in a person's body. So I know that there's toxic levels and then there's high levels. And throughout time, like long periods of time, like throughout time, like we're talking years, from someone drinking manganese in the water, can that cause healthy for somebody.
Well, the Department of Health themselves, when they were here 3 years ago, had said the water in Montrose is absolutely safe to consume.
Then why don't the animals want to even drink it?
Say that again?
The animals don't even want to drink it. Like, my animals don't even drink it. They won't drink it. Do you get the same water source? Okay.
Mine do.
Mine don't. Mine won't. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them, some do, some don't. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what's going on.
I can tell you all 4 of my animals do, as well as both my kids and my wife. and myself.
Okay, great. That's great. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay.
All right, so if you're gonna go to the next. All right, so here's a couple things that homeowners can do. Carbon filter. Using a carbon filter is rated to reduce manganese from 150 to below 100. Distilled water. Water filtration system. Install a filtration system rated to lower manganese from 150 to below 100 also. Reverse osmosis and water softener is also proven to lower those levels. So again, here's kind of the traditional water treatment option that we had brought to us back in 21, working through with our engineers. It's basically the same thing that's on the sheet here. And then,
Yeah, you gotta click through all of it.
this will be the debt payment and projections.
We can move it.
All right, so that brings us to what we know now. Back in August, I started really looking further into this. Kind of woke up one night and said, there's got to be another way, another alternative to do this. Just doing some research, brought me to this company called Newterra. Go to the next slide, please. Been working with them, like I said, since probably about August. They do modular water treatment solutions. I've had a couple meetings, including myself, Councilmember Paradise, City Admin Bonnewell, and Public Works Director Dan Reamer. Still early in this process, but right now it's looking like a very viable option. So here is kind of what a modular water treatment plant is. Basically, it's a pre-engineered, self-contained system. It does have the option to include multiple technologies like reverse osmosis and membrane filtration to treat water. Next slide. Some of the advantages: quick installation with plug-and-play units. Scalable to meet future demand, pre-tested systems minimize setup errors, and energy-efficient design with remote monitoring capabilities. Cost and timeline, lower construction and slow work costs, minimal delays with pre-built components, and long-term savings through low energy consumption. So here's kind of a breakdown of the proposal that I got literally late Friday night. So a media filtration option coming in, this is pre-construction cost, we'd be looking $550,000 to $700,000. With the reverse osmosis, we'd be $600,000 to $800,000. Again, that's not including any construction costs. As you can see, just by looking at the numbers, that's a significant savings for residents. Again, just got this info on Friday. Haven't really had a full chance to speak to our engineers about it or even kind of go through some budgeting process, but as of right now, I think this is an extremely viable option for the city of Montrose to mitigate its manganese problems. Any questions?
So how do you vote on something like that?
it up to the community to decide whether or not we want to go with that or the $2 million increase for the new plant, whatever,
The $30 million plant?
whatever.
So, I mean, I guess it's, we could vote for it, I guess. I mean,
And if we did vote for that, when would that start?
well, I guess it depends on which one you decide to go with. And currently, we're,
That,
That one, I mean, we still have to figure out the construction cost.
yeah. So
We
there's
still have to work with them
still a
on
lot
the
of things we
exact,
need to work
the
through
exact
on that.
system. We still need
okay.
to send them some
What's the
samples.
What's your timeline? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, well, like I said, I just got the info on Friday.
Right?
We just
Can I
passed.
get an idea? I mean, can you put something together?
Well, let's put it this way, we still have, we still have a
Can I-
14,
Can I finish?
I'm just letting you
Can
know.
you put something together for us to evaluate that system?
Yes, of course. Once we
And
get to
what
that
is your
point.
timeline to get that to us?
Well, I mean, I can't give you a straight timeline, depends on what our engineers have.
Can 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year?
Well, I think there's a few things that kind of play into that, not just the engineers, but Nuterra has to get information
I
back
mean,
to
I'm not
us.
asking a stupid question, and you're smirking.
I'm not smirking at all.
Well, it sure seems that way. So,
You can accuse me of
I
anything
just
you
want
want.
a timeline. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, so if I say 6 months and it's 7 months, I mean,
Thank you.
I can't give you a definite timeline on that.
That's
Because
okay.
there's
6
a lot
months
of,
from now,
there's a lot of things in play.
reevaluate this at the next meeting in 6 months, correct? Sound good?
Mhm.
Yep, we'll
I mean,
we'll come back
what
with
do
what
you
we
think
have in
of that
6 months.
It's a good plan.
I think it's a much better plan than $2 million plan.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, there's still a lot of balls in the air here on what needs to be done. So I'll say 6 months.
Okay?
If we don't have anything at 6 months, you know, we'll
Well, I'm
obviously-
sure you'll have more information.
Yes, we'll definitely have more information. There might not be a complete 100% plan, but we will have more information in 6 months.
Mhm.
Wasn't the last, was it, what year was it, you guys? 2020, that $5 million, what was that? When you went to, in front of Senate or whatever, with that $5 million plan for the water treatment center?
So in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
State Rep McDonald and State Senator Anderson both had filed for $5 million for this purpose,
Yes,
but it was not even listened to and thrown out before it ever even got to committee because
that sucks.
manganese is not a regulated substance.
Yeah, I know.
It is only a recommended level that they want you to be at. So since it's not regulated by anybody, the EPA or anyone, there's no money for it. There is currently a city that is trying to get money for a water treatment facility down in the cities, but they also have the tax base that if they don't get it, they can still pay for that project without that money.
Is Joe still working with you guys on that?
They're completely in support of anything. If we needed something, Representative McDonald, Senator Anderson, I've even had conversations with Congressman Emmer and Amy Klobuchar's office, Senator Klobuchar's office, about any of this in the future. But right now, the focus has kind of been on the wastewater treatment side of it because we're at our capacity right now.
Right, no, I get it, and that's a really good idea. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we'd be a lot further along in this whole process if the wastewater treatment issue didn't come up.
Yeah,
Cause
I know.
that's a $16
I
million
know
bill that we
it's a
gotta
lot-
figure out.
It's a big, like, it's a lot involved,
Yes.
Mhm.
and it's a lot to think about, and it's a lot of money, and you can't just throw yourself at something without really thinking about everything, you know?
Yep.
But we do have to figure it out.
We're working on it.
I know.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
But again, budget concerns obviously play a
Yeah.
huge part here.
yeah, I know.
When you start looking at these numbers, $2.6 million, I mean,
I know, it's
Oh, money.
crazy.
yeah.
So besides the manganese, is there anything else in the water that's a little high, or is that just it?
throw that down to Ryan.
Any other levels that we're concerned about outside of manganese?
At this time, no.
No? Good.
And Danny, how much does that get tested per year? How many times?
How often does that get tested?
He's got hearing issues today. Sorry, guys.
How often does what get tested?
The water.
Water,
For what?
Anything.
Anything from the state level.
contaminants.
We get a schedule from the Department of Health, which tells us what we have to and don't have to sample.
Okay.
We test in-house iron and manganese once a month. Everything else is done by the schedule that the Department of Health puts out.
Gotcha.
If it's anything like ours, it's like 15, 20 times a year that all of it's
What's
tested
that?
from many different levels.
Yeah,
Because I do the testing for us.
okay.
Any other questions?
What's that? I send it in, I just take the samples and send it.
So do you, as a whole, like have a timeline that you guys really think that we can move forward with the water situation and the new plant or whatever we're gonna do?
Well, like we just stated, I mean, we'll have to kind of circle back here in about 6 months, see how
Yeah.
far we are.
Okay,
You know, and again, a lot of it's gonna come into budget, I mean, construction costs and everything, so.
I have a question. Sometimes when I turn my water on, the water is like white. And then other times I turn it on and it's clear. I don't know why, and it stinks. The water heater? Is it the water heater?
Typically.
Okay. I've never seen that before. I don't know. I've never had to deal with this before. Rotten eggs, yeah. Stinky.
Water heater.
Okay. Didn't know.
Change the email.
Okay, well, that's good to know, so do your figuring and we can talk about it in 6 months.
Yeah, I think that's a solid plan. See where we're at in 6 months and.
The great thing here is that this company works with small communities like ourselves, with big communities, big cities like San Antonio, Texas. They are in Canada, so we know they can survive the harsh winters that we have. But the reason why it's going to take a little bit is because they're going to take our actual water and figure out exactly what they need to do for the system.
Sure.
So it's going to be completely tailored to Montrose.
Nice.
And we'll be able to grow as we grow and add more to the system. So that's what's really great about it. A, the cost factor, but then also
And this would be the reverse osmosis, right?
they actually did not recommend the reverse osmosis to us.
Okay.
They said the cheaper option is what we should go with what our issues that we stated to them are.
And is that like a filtration
Yes.
Yes.
system
Yep.
instead of a reverse?
Yep, correct. So hopefully we can get some samples out to them. That's really the next steps. Then obviously figuring out, we obviously have their cost, but now we need to figure out the cost of actually constructing this and then figuring that into our $16 million project with the wastewater. And obviously it's a little bit easier to swallow than $30 million, which I still think is a low estimate and probably more of the $40-50 million route.
And where's the site gonna be for this?
From what I think, off of 3rd Street there still, is what we're thinking.
Yeah, that would be the easiest place to do it from previous conversations is off of 3rd.
Where we already own the land.
Yep.
It's big enough for us to, I think that's what we shared with them as far as acreage. More than enough acreage for them to set up and everything.
Yeah.
Well, all I got to say is we gotta get this problem fixed now and nip it in the butt before everything else goes higher and higher and higher.
Mhm.
That's my feelings of it. I've been around this town for 80-some years and something's gotta be done and all the building going on and everything. Something's gotta be done. So we can
Just
get-
imagine if it was approved in 2016 for a water treatment plant, right?
I have a question. Is our old water tower still working?
No.
Everybody wants to know.
Still in use.
Is it? Cool. we gonna paint it? It's it. I just had to ask. Come on, it needs a paint job.
50,000 gallons.
You got a couple $100,000, or do you want a new water
When I
treatment
bring
facility?
my settlements, maybe I'll.
You can either paint the tower, or we can build a water
I look
treatment.
at that every day, I wake up.
It's about the same cost.
We'll make it a big pumpkin.
Change it for all seasons.
Right?
December will be Santa Claus.
That would be funny.
Are there any other questions?
Well, I think you've got a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you for researching.
Yes. Like I said, I mean, it's something that we obviously take seriously, and it's not that things got, it's not that we forgot about it, it's just we had to pivot with the wastewater.
We had to pivot there, and we also didn't want to give you a $200 increase on your water rates.
Right, I know.
It's just, it's not affordable for anybody,
No.
you know? So we have to find different solutions for this problem, and I think Sam did a great job of researching this, and hopefully we can move forward with it.
I hope so too.
Any other questions or comments? Questions or comments up here? Okay, then I will adjourn the town hall meeting at
Perfect timing.
at 6:27.